What's up, humans? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Washington, D.C. and vicinity? All right, y'all. Y'all been waiting for this one for a minute now. This is really history. This is some untold history. Now, a lot of these parts is just, I'm going to fill you in on a little bit about Marion Barry, which you can look up anywhere on that. But there's one particular incident you can't look up nowhere. There's only a couple of us alive to this day that knows about this. I promise y'all that. Okay, but let's get into it real quick. Marion Barry was loved by D.C. citizens, okay? And a lot of reasons. We'll go way back. When he took over, I think our other governor, when I was a kid, it was like something, Barry Waters or something. I can't remember his name. Anyways, so Marion Barry, he was a councilman for a long time. And then when he took over, what was it, 77, 76 or something like that. And he instituted, DC didn't know how much money they had. Okay, they had no idea how much, there was no budget, there was nothing, it was chaotic. He actually set up the local government with a fiscal budget and all that. The stuff you need to order, the whole 9 yards. He set up the government. And what he also did was a lot of people didn't dislike, and there was this one senator, what was that? He was a real asshole. Thurman or something, what was his name? No, Danforth, that was his name. Some shit like Danforth or something. He had it in for Barry for a long time. Because Marion Barry, he put a lot of minorities and females into upper level city management positions that was previously held for whites, more or less, y'all. For more, okay, than less. And like I say, once again, he hired a lot of female staff too as well. So in no time at all, he had the city rolling, had the budget, but the federal government, that Danforth prick, was always out to strip him of power because they couldn't stand it. Here the story will get to where they tried to discredit him in so many ways, but he was doing such a fantastic job. Y'all know that later on in the incident, after what I'm going to tell y'all, where they set him up in a hotel room, they had a fine young model-looking female, entice him over with some crack. And she didn't entice him with the crack. She enticed him with the crack below her waist, y'all. I'm keeping it clean, y'all. Okay. So she enticed him with that. Now here the man comes in there in the hotel room. He's like, bam, I'm 60 years old, and she's like, here, hit this and you can hit this. So naturally he took a hit of the pipe. The feds come in, boom, they bust him. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not a crackhead. I don't smoke crack, y'all, and all that. But you know what? There's a time and place for everything. And if there was, that would have been a time and a place for an old brother going to hit something that's 21 years old, a fine model, a dime that he'll never get in his life, just to take a blast. Most of us would do it, y'all. Welcome to America. We are humans. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to fake the funk out here. So anyways, that's how they had to set him up, okay? Because they couldn't catch him doing nothing. He didn't steal money. He wasn't going to jail like Detroit mayors, Chicago mayors, and I ain't down in y'all city or nothing. But y'all get caught with money in the freezers and this and that. No, man, Marion Barry, he worked it in a legitimate way, unlike our federal government. What he would do possibly is say, hey, man, we're going to look out for you on this contract over here, on this government contract. But, Barry Farms or Langston Terrace, somebody needs some sidewalks. They need some air conditioners. So throw that money back in the hood. And, the rich and the poor were happy. And anybody can't say no difference. You ask any rich white entrepreneur out there that was in the Barry days, and he was hanging out with Marion Barry. And he knew what time it was. He had no problem doing it. All right, y'all? But Marion Barry wasn't stealing no money and putting it in his pocket, man. He might have enjoyed a couple luxuries of the job. So, which leads us now to a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine, like a mentor, Morris Lynch. He's passed away. God rest his soul. I'm using his name. I can do this and have all the permission in the world to have to do this. Okay? And then it leads to Herby Cole, who was a very influential businessman around the D.C. and PG County area, and who is just, his loyalty is beyond belief when you hear this story. Now, mind you, Morris, he always had Herby's back. When Herby owned about 6 strip clubs up and down 14th Street, when 14th and U and all that was popping back in the day when I was a kid. Okay, mind you, I wasn't here for this right here. Okay, but this is from the horse's mouth. Morris, Herby, Mike Benz, ex-boxer, friend of mine, you know, he if he remembers, if he wasn't too busy with a Big Mac in his mouth, like, you know, after he you know, his boxing career got derailed because of an unfortunate car accident, because he probably would have at least been a contender because the boy could fight. You know what I mean? But so he gave up fighting and his passion became eating. But anyways, he's alive. I just heard from his through my boy Dave the other day. So he's also a living witness to this story. This incident happened. So what happens is Morris used to run all the vending machines down, you know, all the cigarette machines and all that down 14th Street for Herby Cole. Now, a little bit back up on Herby real quick. This is how this man started off. His father died and left all the kids like $100,000 apiece. And his mother didn't get nearly what she thought she was going to get. It went to the kids like that. And she told Herby Cole, and you know, Morris is going, he can't verify, but Mike has heard the story with me when we go to West Virginia, Harper's Ferry. You know, the piece of property that old Deputy Dog roughed me off for in the Thriller. Y'all remember the Thriller? Check it out. So anyways, Herby's mother tells him, you need to take your $100,000 and invest in peanuts because you're only smart enough to sit on the park bench and feed squirrels for the rest of your life. Now, that's his mom telling him that. Man, that's a hell of a, you know, now this is Washington, D.C. cat, mind you. So time goes on with that $100,000. He turned to $1 million maybe in a year or more. That was the legend. I mean, that was a story happened. Because when I met Herby later on in the years, he had just millions and he could just sign whatever one. You didn't pay for anything he was at. He just said, give me his tab, give me his tab, give me his tab. And he did not sell drugs or anything, y'all. He did all this on a shrewd business-minded man. Well, so anyways, the feds come at Herby and they ask Herby, they say, look, they say, we're going to take 6 businesses of yours, all your strip clubs on 14th Street, which is several $1 million, $10, $20 million liquid assets you got, and put you in the feds for 2 years for tax evasion and all this shit, unless you testify that you provided Marion Barry with prostitutes, cocaine, and limousines. And that's all you have to do. And Herby's initial reaction was, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't never do no shit. I don't know what you're talking about. I want to talk to my lawyer. Their response, because they couldn't question him no more, ask him nothing else, they said, they can still make a statement to you. Don't ever forget that. Don't feed into their statements because they're luring you into responding, y'all. When they make a statement, just because you exercise your right to remain silent, they ain't got to shut up. They just can't question you, but they can make statements. That's how they get around it, y'all. So in their statement, they said, well, whether you did or whether you did not do this, if you testify to this, you walk. You keep everything you got. Okay, y'all? Now we're talking about an older black guy, an older white guy, and this is before the later on incident where the feds set him up. That's how bad the feds wanted him, and they were willing to set him up whether Herby testified or not. Now, what do you think Herby did? That is part 2, y'all. Tune in. Say no to drugs. Please press like and subscribe. Say no to the violence. And let's help the kids put some clothes on their backs, y'all. Come on, man. Like and subscribe. Part 2 is coming up soon.